I never believed hostel rumors. Every hostel has stories, ghosts in bathrooms, shadows in corridors, whispers after midnight. I always thought they were made to scare new students. That changed the night I was assigned the last bed in Block C. Block C was the oldest hostel building on campus. Most students avoided it because of its distance and poor lighting. But due to lack of rooms, I was shifted there for 1 week. The warden handed me the key without looking at me properly. "Lights go off at 11, he said. Then he added quietly, "If you hear footsteps at night, don't open your eyes." I thought it was a joke. I laughed. "You didn't?" First night. The room had 4 beds. 3 were empty. Mine was near the window. At 10:45 p.m., the corridor lights went out. Darkness swallowed the floor instantly. Even phone signals were weak. By 11:30 p.m., the hostel was completely silent. No fans. No talking. No movement. At exactly 12:17 a.m., I heard footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Barefoot. They stopped right outside my room. I held my breath. The door didn't open. The footsteps walked past. I told myself it was a late-night student. Then I heard them again. This time, inside the room. The empty beds. The footsteps moved toward the empty beds. 1 step. Pause. Another step. The wooden floor creaked near the second bed. Then the third. I kept my eyes shut, remembering the warden's words. Suddenly, the mattress beside me sank slightly as if someone had sat down. I could feel the pressure. Cold spread across my arm. Breathing followed. Not fast. Not slow. But very close. I didn't move. After a few seconds, the pressure lifted. The footsteps walked toward the door and disappeared. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. Second night. I asked other students about Block C. One senior looked uncomfortable. "That room?" he asked. "No one stays there longer than a week." I asked why. He said, "Because the hostel fills itself at night." I didn't understand. He refused to explain more. That night I kept the light on. At 12 a.m. the bulb flickered and went off. Darkness returned. At 12:16 a.m. the footsteps came back. This time they were faster. Running. Circling the room. Then they stopped near my bed. Something whispered near my ear. "Only one bed is empty." I felt fingers brush my blanket. I screamed. The lights turned on instantly. The room was empty. But all 3 unused beds had deep impressions, like someone had been sleeping there for years. The truth. The next morning I went to the warden. He sighed and finally spoke. "Block C was built on old staff quarters," he said. "A fire broke out years ago. 4 students died in one room. Only one body was found on the bed." I asked about the others. "They were never found," he replied. "But every night, they returned to sleep." I felt sick. "What happens if someone opens their eyes?" I asked. The warden looked straight at me. "Then the last bed is no longer empty." Final night. That night I packed my bag. I planned to leave before midnight. At 11:58 p.m. the door locked itself. At 12 a.m. the footsteps began. 4 sets. Surrounding my bed. The mattress dipped again. A voice whispered, "You're early tonight." I closed my eyes. I don't remember falling asleep. Morning. I woke up on the floor. The room was empty. My bed was untouched. The other 3 beds looked normal. I left Block C immediately. A week later, I heard a new student had been assigned my old bed. Now Block C has no empty beds. 2. The washroom at the end of the corridor. Everyone warned me about the washroom on the 3rd floor. Not directly. Not clearly. They just said things like, "Use the one downstairs." Or, "Don't go there after midnight." I thought it was superstition. I was new. My room was on the 3rd floor, last door on the left. The washroom at the end of the corridor was the closest, so naturally that's the one I used. At least, during the day. First night. At around 1:40 a.m. I woke up feeling uncomfortable. I needed to use the washroom. The corridor lights were dim, flickering every few seconds. The hostel was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy. I walked toward the washroom. The door was open. Inside, only one bulb worked. The mirrors were old, edges blackened with age. The taps dripped slowly. Drip, drip, drip. While washing my hands, I noticed something strange. My reflection was slightly delayed. When I raised my hand, the reflection followed, half a second late. I blinked. It was normal again. I told myself I was tired and left. Second night. The same urge woke me up again at 1:42 a.m. This time I hesitated, but I went anyway. The washroom door was closed now. When I pushed it open, the bulb flickered violently, then stabilized. As I stood in front of the mirror, I realized something terrifying. There were wet footprints behind me. Bare feet. Leading from the last toilet stall, stopping right behind me. But when I turned around, no one was there. I looked back at the mirror. My reflection was smiling. I wasn't. Something was wrong. I stumbled back to my room, heart racing. The next morning, I asked the senior about the washroom. He went quiet. After a long pause, he said, "A student died there 2 years ago. Slipped. Hit his head." I asked why no one fixed it. He replied, "They did. Multiple times. But students kept seeing someone in the mirror, standing behind them." I laughed nervously. "You didn't?" Third night. I decided not to use that washroom again. But at 1:41 a.m., my door creaked open on its own. Cold air rushed in. I tried to close it, but my body felt heavy, slow, like I was being pulled. Step by step, I walked out of my room, down the corridor, toward the washroom. I was fully awake, but I wasn't in control. The washroom door opened by itself. Inside, every mirror reflected the same thing. Me, standing there, and someone else, standing behind me. I couldn't see its face, but I could feel its breath on my neck. A whisper filled the room. "Look properly." The reflection. I looked closer at the mirror. The thing behind me wasn't touching the floor. Its feet were twisted backward. Its eyes were dark hollows. And slowly, my reflection turned its head toward it. "Not me." The reflection spoke. "You took my place." The lights went out. Morning. I woke up in my bed. Sweat soaked my clothes. I thought it was a nightmare. Until I went to wash my face. The mirror showed me perfectly. Except for one thing. For a brief second. Someone blinked. And I didn't.